this is currently the #1 Daredevil, who was also the rank 1 player in the world overall. And today, I'll be analyzing one of his game replays where he was MVP with 49 kills and 26 final hits in a top 100 lobby against pro players Enzo and Speedery. So if you want to get better at playing Daredevil, or you just want to learn more about very high elo gameplay, pay attention because there's going to be a lot of valuable information in this video. This is the first round on defense, so let's see what he does. Okay, so he is setting up on the left side here, which is actually surprising because you might see some Daredevils or dive characters in general play on this right side here because it's a very good angle for getting at the enemy backline. However, I do prefer setting up on this left high ground here so that you can actually take it away from the enemies, or rather so that the enemies don't just walk through this to reach your backline. So I actually prefer holding the left side here. Okay. Now, I'm guessing he's just waiting for an opportunity because you can't go in right at the start. Okay, looks like he's about to go in here. This is a bit scuffed, though. Oh my god, yeah, he almost dies. Oh my god, he almost dies there. Okay, not a good start, I will admit. But there is a reason why this is kind of scuffed. Because you see here, before he engages, Angela is already looking at him. And now, when he wants to go in, Bucky, who's like the biggest enemy against Daredevil or any diver in general, is already looking at him. Rocket is already aware of him. And so, as a diver, if you lose this element of surprise, unless it's like an insanely good dive opportunity, which this doesn't look like it, because they're all stuck together, then your dive is going to be much riskier because you don't have that element of surprise. And you see here that he goes in, and because of that, he has to immediately go out. In fact, he did almost die, and getting out with 30 HP is basically pure luck. One more shot by Magneto, one more shot by Bucky, one shot by Ultron, a random spit by Jeff, and you're basically dead. And I think the reason for this is, like I said, he lost that element of surprise, and this was a bad dive. So see, even the rank 1 player can still make some bad decisions. I don't think this was a good dive. What I think he should have done is probably just don't engage here. Either challenge this Angela maybe, or just don't go in, because this was very risky. He almost did die. Okay, what he does after this is what matters. His Phoenix is dead, so he can't really go in. He still kind of has to wait. And I think this is a better opportunity. Yeah, you see, this is a much better opportunity. Why? Well, because look, the Bucky is busy with the Angela. But more importantly, if we can kind of look from above, you see that there's like 3 separate groups on the enemy team. You have the tanks here with Ultron, which is like one separate group. You have these 2 guys here, which is like another separate group. But then you have Rocket all by himself, which means you can easily force a kill on him or like apply a ton of pressure. He gets the kill. He can still fight a little bit because it's only a Bucky, but he probably will die here. I would be surprised if he doesn't die. Okay, he does die, but he killed the enemy supports, which is really good. And what I think you need to understand immediately as a diver is that you need to be patient and look for these opportunities where you will find isolated targets or targets that are kind of not on the same line as their team. Because you see, even though the enemy team is running Bucky, which is the best anti-dive, and this is a top 100 lobby, this Bucky is literally a pro player, a tier 1 pro player. You see, he is still not like holding hands with the supports. So no matter what elo you're in, I guarantee you will find opportunities like this where the enemy supports, and not only, are going to be isolated and easy pickings. So he died getting 2 supports. That's a nice trade. But it probably didn't matter that much because it looks like the team lost the fight anyway. Regardless, let's see what he does now. Now, he sees Bucky by himself here. And this is a bit of a risky engage, I would say. Yeah, he could have very easily died there. I'm guessing his reasoning was that he sees Bucky was kind of by himself, right? He notices Bucky is by himself, although it should be expected that the rest of his team is over here. But you see, once again, it's like, if you look at it from above, you once again have like separate groups. You have these two guys here, which is a separate group. And if you consider it right now, you could say that Bucky is technically isolated, right? And he could have maybe killed the Bucky, because the Bucky did actually get quite low HP here, right? See, he was like half HP, so you could say that he potentially could have killed the Bucky. But once again, I want you to understand that he recognized the opportunity of the isolated target, a potential kill there, because the Bucky is kind of by himself. And of course, then he has to get out because he can't stay for too long, because that is essentially a 1v3. Now, he does see the Jeff is kind of by himself in the back, but if you can't go for that, then brawling a little bit is acceptable. Once again, see? Enemy supports are kind of by themselves. Unfortunately, he did push into a rocket ultimate, which, once again, probably not the smartest. He should have maybe gotten out. But I want you to understand the principle behind it is you see opportunities of not even single, but rather by themselves, unprotected targets. That's like the better word. Unprotected targets.
On the hunt.
So see, he sees the Jeff is kind of by himself here. There you go. And he forces damage on the Jeff. He sees the Bucky coming in, and the moment he sees the Bucky, he's already out. He's not bothering with that. Now, once again, look, Rocket is by himself. Once again, this has happened like 5 times by now in a very high lobby game. Like, if this happens here, I guarantee you it will happen in your elo even more. You will see enemy supports by themselves, easy for you to go and attack. He goes in with his ult, doesn't really do much, but sees the Ultron is by himself now. And there you go, he just swapped targets. So, see, it's not always going to go according to the plan, but it's all about adapting. They do lose this fight, but I don't think it was because of him. But what I want you to understand from this is that this is the correct play. And sometimes you can make the correct play, but it's not going to work out because of different reasons. Maybe the enemy team plays better, maybe your team plays worse, or whatever reason, maybe even to pure luck. Sometimes the correct play will not work out, even if it is the correct play. It is possible to make no mistakes and still lose. But what he does instead is, he sees that killing this rocket here is kind of annoying, so he tries to look for a different target, and then he notices that the enemy Ultron, once again, you see, enemy by themselves, unprotected. He still has a little bit of an ultimate, but even if he didn't have ultimate, I still think he would have gotten for this Ultron. And there you go. Solo target found. Then he goes onto the cart, or like he switches positions. Then he looks back, and what does he see? He sees a low HP Bucky. And maybe he can get it. Probably not, but that's kind of the thinking behind it. What I want you to understand from these rank 1 spectating is how they're thinking, so that you can copy it for your own games, to learn how the rank 1s make their decisions, so that you can start doing that in your own games. Now once again he goes from the side here. He does see, look, if we apply the exact same principle, he sees Mag, not the best target, but this Mag is a little bit overextended. So he can punish it by applying pressure on him, damaging the Magneto, forcing him to go backwards. Right? It's the exact same principle. A target by themselves. Right? And you don't need to kill them. You just need to apply some pressure. He almost dies there because it was a bit unlucky, but the right play was to push out that Mag. Then once again here, he sees the Angela by herself, so he challenges her. Right, he's not letting this Angela go for his backline. Okay, he's a bit patient here. Once again, sees the Angela kind of forward and punishes her with damage. Then, boom. Supports are going to be by themselves. I would be very surprised if he doesn't go into supports in like a second. There you go. Oh, never mind. They're looking at him. He might die here. Oh my god, I didn't even know you can do this. What? There's a hole here? I had no idea this existed. Oh my god. I had no idea that place existed. Anyways, he's got to be patient now and look for opportunities. Sees the Jeff ulting, and you can actually kill a Jeff ulting with Daredevil quite easily. But doesn't quite get it though, unfortunately. But that, once again, it was the correct play. Trying to kill the Jeff was the correct play. Now, probably staying here without cooldowns, not the best play. Right, he gets punished for it. He made a mistake and gets punished. Okay, he comes back. He might go in with his ultimate here. Yeah, it's just pressing Q time. Not much to be said here, just like pressing Q times and going for like the squishiest target you can find, which is the Bucky in this case. Ultron is ulting, so he probably will disengage. But then again, he is looking to hit something. The mag is a bit forward, so he's looking to punish, and then he will probably go for a flank or just marking the Angela. Yeah, see? He sees the Angela is by herself. Isolated target. Maybe killable. And there you go. And now just goes for the supports because it's the same principle. Alright, and then the Ultron. Isolated target. Like, not even isolated, just unprotected. They win this fight, so he's looking to maybe stagger these guys. Nice. It's a lot of hectic movement, though my eyes kind of hurt. It's probably the replay. Spazzing out a little bit. Anyways, he tries to set up, but then he sees the Angela. And then fucking kills her. And there you go. Once again, look at this. Look at this. Enemy team literally has Bucky and Phoenix. And what do you see? Enemy supports are once again kind of unprotected. And so he goes for them. Bucky looks at him because you see the shots. He does have his ult here. Oh my god, he just kills everyone. Okay, but let's look at it afterwards and see why is this a good ultimate. So he starts by going for the supports. Bucky looks at him. He goes behind the wall to activate his ultimate, but where is the rest of his team? Look, the rest of his team is right here. And I can't look from above because of the building, but when he goes in with his ultimate, he creates a pinch effect. So you see, he's now in the back here, forcing damage and pressure on these guys. And then from the other side, his team is over here. He's like pinching the enemies. From the back, he's ulting, which is a ton of pressure. And which allows his team to walk up and apply pressure from the opposite side. Right? You want to use the ultimate on the enemies if your team can also see the enemies.
That's much better.
If your team cannot see the enemies, you are essentially going into a 1v5, 1v whatever. He is trying to stop the portal here. I don't know if he can, because that's out the pocket, but okay. I mean, he tried. That was the principle there. Now, going in with the portal, probably a bit risky. He did almost die there. Now he was patient, and once again he sees isolated targets. Probably loses this, but it's kind of the principle. He will probably die here. Any moment now. Any moment now. Yeah, there it is. Getting Bucky punched. Yeah, that's a GG well played. Okay, they portal, he holds, and he goes for the enemies by themselves. Gets Bucky punched and ended. You get Bucky punched, you die. It is what it is. Once again, you see, supports are kind of by themselves, and he goes for them. Unfortunately, they lose this fight, but he just goes for the supports who are by themselves. So I want you to take away from this the fact that you need to be looking for the supports, or not even, just targets who are by themselves. See, look at this. This Jeff is so far back that he's kind of by himself. He gets peeled and he immediately goes out.
Only 60 seconds left.
And once again, he sets up. Another thing to understand is that I think diving in general is a 3-step process. Number 1 is setting up, which is like here, right? You want to set up on an off angle, on a flank, or whatever, a position. You want to set up on a position. Number 2 is looking for an opportunity. So here he is set up and he's looking for the opportunity where the enemy targets are going to be isolated. And there you go. Look, opportunity found, which is step 3. Go in and take advantage of that opportunity. There you go. They get peeled and he probably will disengage very soon. Or not. I mean, he did disengage behind the wall, right? There you go. He was waiting, looking for opportunity. He sees the low HP rocket. Opportunity found. He might die because of the rocket ultimate, but once again, right? Kind of set up on the side really quickly, look for opportunity. And now disengage. Set up on the flank, opportunity found, and go for it.
That's much better.
The final 10 seconds.
Now he does wait for his team here maybe. Or once again he sets up on the side, boom. Target by themselves. There we go. Of course, another underrated principle is figuring out when to disengage, right? Which is normally when the enemy team starts getting peeled. But there you go. The Phoenix was kind of by herself. Opportunity found.
Back to my old self.
I don't think the enemy touches this, no? Okay, so after watching that first half, what have we learned? Looking for opportunities. I think it's actually a 4-step dive. So number 1, or like step 1 of diving, setting up. Step 2 of diving, looking for opportunity. Step 3 of diving, looking to go in. Step 3 of diving, going in and taking advantage of that opportunity. And step 4, getting out once the enemy starts peeling. Okay, now let's see what he does on attack. Right, just as I thought, you want to go from an off angle, right? A flank like this. And there you go, boom. Set up on a flank or off angle, looking for opportunity. Adam by himself, opportunity found. And now going in, boom. Right? There's no real peel going on here, right? The reason he's not going out is because there's no one really peeling him. So it's not step 4. There's no reason to go out yet. Once the enemy starts peeling, then maybe it's time to go out. Right, like this, you see now, the Groot is starting to look at him. So that's a bit of extra peel. Right, but it's not enough. Now, the Mag is looking at him. The Strange a little bit. Right, he might go out soonish. There you go, see? He does have ultimate already. And he just goes in. Yeah, he just pressed Q. He just pressed Q. But it followed the same principle, right? Set up, opportunity, go in, and go out. Now, once again, the fight is over, so he's moving forward to set up for the next one.
On the hunt.
He sees the enemies get stunned by the Phoenix, which is insane, by the way. And there you go. He goes in. He found the opportunity and he went in. It was also a bit lucky, I will be honest. It was also a little bit lucky. Now, the enemy tanks can't really fight him, so that's why he doesn't go out. But he probably will go out soon. Because he's taking a lot of damage right now. There you go, he even dies. He should have gotten out. But he couldn't because he didn't have his cooldowns. Okay, going for the point. He does see the Jeff way too forward, so he might look to kill him. And then he just goes for the supports because, like, no one is peeling, right? Like, if the enemy is not peeling, if the enemies are unprotected, if the enemy supports are unprotected, there's no reason to go out, right? Until you take too much damage, but most of the time is going for targets who are unprotected. Because Daredevil is really good at 1v1s, even 1v2s and some 1v3s depending on the enemies. Once again, see? Setup, looking for opportunity. He guaranteed wanted to go on this Bucky because from this perspective, the Bucky is kind of by himself. However, right, enemy team starts popping up one by one, so that's why he doesn't go in on this. It's not the Bucky, actually, it's a Star-Lord, my bad. But I guarantee you he would have wanted to go on this guy. Now, he does have his ultimate, but I think he's not going in with his ultimate now is because of what I said earlier, as in, his team doesn't really see the enemies. Now, he might go for a 1v6 here, which I would be very surprised if he does. Because it's not that bad, actually. Because he could take some extra space earlier or, like, buy some time. But once again, you see, look at this, guys. Once again, the enemy rocket is lagging behind his team, which is a separated target, which is an opportunity. And there you go. They get peeled, so he goes out. Now, this ultimate here, not the best ultimate. Okay, let's be honest, probably not the best one. It worked out somehow, but it was definitely scuffed. It was definitely scuffed. Although you can say that the reasoning behind it was, of course, his team can now see the enemy, right? So if he goes in with his ultimate, right, these guys can see the enemies a little bit, and these guys can see the enemies a little bit. Right, so you could have that reasoning, but I still think it was a bit scuffed. It just works out because Phoenix is there. But you could say that the Phoenix looking at the enemies was the opportunity.
I know these streets like the back of my hand. Follow me.
Okay, fight is over and we go back to step one. Setup. Setting up and waiting for targets. Nice, Jeff. That's a nice bite.
I can hit on the hunt.
Sees the shark by himself. Enemy starts peeling and he's out. Okay, goes to set up from the back and he sees the rocket is by himself. Sees the mantis by herself. Kind of misses the deflect, but he did go for the mantis. And now once again he's not really getting peeled, right? So he's just hitting the supports. Oh, Jeff is by himself? Okay, never mind, Jeff is ulting. Oh, look, Rocket is by himself. Let me go on Rocket. Boom. Oh, Jeff is ulting. Let me go on Jeff. There we go. Oh, Mantis is by herself, which I think she was. There you go. Like, that is the thought process. Target by themselves. Go in on them. Always look for targets that are separated and that are easy pickings. Oh, Mantis by themselves. Boom. These guys by themselves, boom. Daredevil is good at 1v2. Boom. Jeff by himself. It's like, it's over and over. It's the exact same principle over and over. Fight is done, setting up for the next one after getting some kills, of course. But there we go. Setting up for the next one. Mantis by herself. Boom. I'm going in. Probably will die because that was a bit too much, right? That was a bit too much, but the exact same principle, right? Setting up, Mantis by herself, go in. He probably didn't mean to fall down, or if anything, he probably would have stopped, should have stopped here. Right? He got a bit greedy because look, now he's in, the enemy team is all looking at him, so it's not good, right? He got a bit too greedy. But the exact same principle applied. Set up, look for opportunity, and take it.
I'll make sure you are nothing.
What the That's an interesting Phoenix ult. Yep, that's an interesting ultimate. A pro player, by the way. No disrespect, guys, please. Anyways, let's see what he does next. Probably the same thing. Looks at the mag. Oh, Punisher kind of by himself. Okay, never mind. Oh, Jeff is by himself. And there you go. Even ulting, but once again, why is this a good ultimate? Because, see, he's once again creating this pinch effect, right? His team is right here, able to attack the enemies from here, and he's over here, able to apply pressure from a different direction. So if his team was over there, probably not a good ult, but you need to create this pinch effect. Get some nice kills, forces rocket ult, and just goes for whatever targets he can see. There you go. Once again, Phoenix is by herself. Never mind, Rocket is by himself. That's a nice stall. Maybe bad stagger though. Jeff by himself. Boom. Oh man, I love the wall hacks this character has. After playing Daredevil, I will be honest, I missed the wall hacks on other characters.
Big chance.
Now, set up, again, waits for opportunity. Could say that was a bit eager, but you see, Phoenix, not even like 2 seconds later, after going in, Phoenix, you see, once again, Phoenix is technically all by herself, separated, unprotected. So he goes for her. Boom, boom, boom. Rocket by himself. Boom, boom, boom. He gets punished by the Punisher, but that's the principle. Magneto, solo on the point. He might get dunked here. Okay, never mind. But there you go. Magneto solo on point. Boom. Mantis walking forward. Boom. Never mind. Mantis is unkillable. Phoenix by herself. Boom. We are nothing. Jeff by himself. Boom. And there you go. So, I hope that the takeaway from this, it's really not that difficult when you think about it like I did. It's actually very straightforward. The difficulty comes in practicing this and making sure you internalize it and you actually apply it in your own games. But once again, it's basically a 4-step process. Set up on a flank, behind the enemies, on an off angle, like somewhere around the enemies, right? Just setting up on a different position than your team. Number 2, looking for opportunities when the enemies are separated, isolated, and unprotected. It can be even just them lagging behind their own team a little bit. Thirdly is taking the opportunity and going in to apply pressure. And then number 4, when the enemies start getting peeled by their team, get out so you don't die. And of course, the 5th, you can say that for his ultimate, is you want to use the ultimate when your team can see the enemies so that you create this pinching effect where you're fighting from 2 different directions and you basically gangbang the enemies. That being said, I hope you learned something from this video. I sure did after watching this rank 1 player. And so if you did, I appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.